Good afternoon and welcome back to Medical Monday on 3 Talk with me, Nolene. We all have aches and pains and we usually rely on conventional medical treatments to treat these, but there are alternative treatments. Homeopathy is one such alternative. Today, 3 Talk will be looking at healing and homeopathic remedies. If you have a question or comment for my guest, please call me 086 2233 303 or you can SMS 32672 at a cost of R1. Please welcome Carlo Odermatt, a Swiss homeopath, author and lecturer at the School of Natural Medicine in Basel, Switzerland. Carla Wurschläger, a pharmacist and homeopath with a particular focus on acute conditions. Carlo and Carla are currently on a tour of South Africa, sharing their experiences in homeopathy with the South African health trade. Also welcome Dr. Leslie Pless, a homeopath and ex-chairman of the Homeopathic Association of South Africa. Welcome, guys. Thank you very much. Well, I've come back from a 3-day spring break, so it's great to be starting the week with a brand new show and talking about homeopathy. Before I talk about what it is you guys are doing in South Africa, Leslie, how would you describe homeopathy? I think people get kind of very confused about homeopathy.
You know, I always say that homeopathy has a very poor sound bite. It's not like chiropractic, you just move the bone.
Yeah, it's like homeopathy.
Yeah, and acupuncture, you just put a needle in. There's a kind of snappy sound bite quality.
Yeah.
Homeopathy works on homeopathy is the same. So we're looking at some mechanism of stimulating the body using the same substances that create symptoms exactly the same as the disease you have. So it's like a mirroring effect.
Right.
So it's almost, if you looked in the mirror dressed in a particular way,
right,
and you look good or not good, would you agree?
Yes, well, I always look good.
No, that is true. Do the people know it's your birthday tomorrow, by the way?
No, I don't think so. It's my birthday tomorrow, and I'm on diet, so no cake for me tomorrow.
We had a big discussion about cake before we went on. So I like the symbolism of mirrors, like curing like. It's almost a stimulus to the body.
Curing like,
yes.
Okay.
And we use small amounts to stimulate the body to heal itself.
Would you describe it, Carlo? Would you describe homeopathy in the same vein as Leslie has?
Yes, I would say it's a natural healing system which helps your body to help himself.
Okay.
And it's completely another thing than conventional medicine. For example, we are not fighting against the symptoms because we are convinced that the symptoms help us to go back to healthy.
Okay.
I give you an example. Fever is a very good tool if you have a virus infection. With fever, you can fight against the virus. And that's really a good possibility to go back to health with your own immune system. It helps you. Often mothers are afraid if the child has fever. And I say, as homeopath, that's good. If it's a healthy child, it has fever. If the child is able to have fever, there is something really important in the immune system who works. And that's a bit another thinking.
Let's say, Carla, let's say someone has diabetes. So it's like fighting like. So how as a homeopath, how would you try and help that person? Or would that person have to go to their conventional doctor and then over and above that work with homeopathic remedies?
Yeah, I think often that will be a very common approach, that such a person will be, seeing a sort of conventional physician, but you could also, in addition, he could also go and see a homeopathic. Diabetes is a chronic situation, so I would recommend that person sees also a well-trained homeopath. It's nothing you can treat in an acute situation, and from that point of view, I cannot just name you, give you a remedy and say this is like, like treating like with this remedy, you're going to help that person.
So there are certain.
Pardon me?
So there are certain illnesses that homeopathic can help, but there are certain that it can't.
We can help in addition it goes well together. Conventional also and homeopathy go well together. I mean, there's even studies that have been done sort of particularly investigating this issue.
Yeah.
There's, for example, studies that have been done in the intensive care unit, so with severely ill patients. So they were comparing the effect of homeopathic and conventional treatment, the effect of conventional treatment only. And what they could see in that study is that in the combination group, in the group that received both treatments, 75% of the people survived, whereas in the group that were only treated with conventional medicine, it was only 50%. So I think that's a nice example to show that conventional medicine and homeopathy go very nicely together.
Yeah.
But it's like for chronic conditions, I think it's important to work with a classical homeopathic approach, that you go and see a homeopath. That means you sit together for 1 hour, for 1.5 hours, and this is the situation where the homeopath can find a remedy that will help you.
Yeah.
There's also the acute situations. If you, for example, if you have maybe a hay fever or something like that, where often you can, there's remedies you can, like a honeybee preparation, which can help in such situations.
As a homeopath, do you, if you're sick, if you or your family is sick or relatives, do you only go the homeopathic route, or would you first start with conventional and then try and marry the two?
I would frankly never start with conventional first, unless it was a diagnostic procedure that required an investigation by a specialist to make sure I was on the right track.
Okay.
But to go, with all due respect, to go straight into harsh drugs right from the beginning, you must always exhaust the conservative first, always. So, for example, let's just take diabetes, for example. You mentioned it. It's an epidemic, as you know, diabetes type 2, meaning we've earned it. You know that, don't you? We've earned diabetes. Everybody walks in as if they say diabetes flew in like an eagle over and landed on their forehead, are wrong. They've earned it through dietary indiscretion, and carbohydrate consumption has just exploded, particularly in Africa, particularly in our Indian population who have a genetic predisposition. So the homeopaths in this country, I can't comment about Switzerland because sometimes there's different national styles in a way.
Okay.
But we use nutrition a lot. So we'd be looking at giving them a chromium, for example, in diabetes, particularly a chromium that's absorbed well by the body, for example, in some kind of food matrix, for example. And then we would look at homeopathy in terms of working with the person around cravings, because, they've got to really change their lifestyle. They've got to lose weight. There's a whole lot of stuff. And and we all know how difficult weight loss is. It's an absolute...
Talking about weight loss, homeopathically, is there a remedy that you can use, that you can advise if you want to lose weight? Carlo?
It's not so easy. We are looking for a remedy for this problem, and we found some remedies. We could say reliable indication. Many of the homeopaths maybe saw that certain remedies helps to lose weight, but it's individual, not the same remedy for you or for another person. And for that, it's not easy to bring something from OTC, over the counter in a pharmacy.
Okay.
But there is always a chance, if you go to the homeopath, to find your remedy. And sometimes it changes something in your life.
Yeah.
You maybe go more out and have more activity or something like that, and then maybe you eat something else. And so it changes slowly, and it could help.
Okay.
But it's not so easy.
I think at the end of the day, Leslie, it really is about exercise, which we've said on this show many, many times. There is no easy solution. It's the leafy vegetables, it's less carbs, it's more fat, and that's the basic thing, isn't it?
There are a few homeopathic remedies that claim to have an effect. For example, there's a one in the Reykjavik range in this country, but the percentages are maybe 1/3 of the people will lose a bit of weight by stimulating the thyroid activity and the metabolic rate.
But at the end of the day,
At the end of the day,
eating
it's
less.
very boring. Weight loss is the most boring subject in the world because you've got to exercise more, drink more fluid.
It may be boring, Leslie, but it is a multi-billion-dollar industry.
Listen, you don't believe that the three of us are not sitting here thinking if we had the solution, we would
It
have,
would be out in the
we'd
market.
have 3 Porsches and Ferraris outside
Exactly.
there. Yeah, so-
Have you had an illness or medical condition that was treated using homeopathic remedies? Call and tell us why this was better option for you on 086 2233 303, or you can SMS 32672.